It takes 30 seconds to make. It feeds a third of the planet every single day, and the man who built the empire did not invent the food, did not design the kitchen, and did not cook a single meal in his life. In 1948, two brothers stood inside their own restaurant in San Bernardino, California, and dismantled everything that worked. Richard and Maurice McDonald had been running a successful drive-in. Car hops brought food to parked cars. The menu had 25 items. The profits were good. They shut it all down anyway. They fired the car hops. They cut the menu to 9 items. They replaced plates with paper wrappers and real silverware with nothing at all. They redesigned the kitchen like a factory floor, 1 station per task. Every movement timed, every burger identical. They called it the Speedy Service System. A hamburger cost 15 cents. It was ready before the customer finished paying. Nobody in the restaurant industry had seen anything like it, because the McDonald brothers had not improved a restaurant. They had eliminated the idea of one and replaced it with a machine that happened to serve food. The machine worked. Lines stretched around the building. Families came. Workers came. The price was so low and the speed so fast that eating out stopped being a luxury and became a routine. The brothers opened a second location. They licensed the name to a handful of franchisees. The operation stayed small. The brothers were happy. They did not want an empire. They wanted a good restaurant. A milkshake machine salesman named Ray Kroc wanted the empire. Kroc arrived in San Bernardino in 1954. He sold multi-spindle mixers. The McDonald brothers had ordered 8 of them, enough to make 40 milkshakes at once. Kroc wanted to see what kind of restaurant needed that many mixers. He watched the kitchen for a single lunch rush. He understood immediately. The system was the product. The food was secondary. Kroc proposed a deal. He would franchise the McDonald's system nationwide. The brothers agreed. Kroc opened his first franchise in Des Plaines, Illinois in April 1955. He stood outside on opening day and picked up every piece of trash in the parking lot himself. Within 5 years, he had over 200 locations. By 1965, McDonald's had 700 restaurants and went public. The stock offering raised capital that funded a national expansion so fast that a new McDonald's opened somewhere in the United States roughly every other day. The money was not in the burgers. A financial advisor named Harry Sansborn showed Kroc the real model. McDonald's would lease or buy the land beneath each franchise. The franchisee paid rent to McDonald's. If the franchisee failed, the land stayed. Kroc was not running a food company. He was running a real estate company that used hamburgers as a delivery mechanism, and the math behind that insight would eventually make McDonald's one of the largest commercial landowners on Earth. By 1961, Kroc wanted full control. The brothers wanted out. Kroc bought them out for $2.7 million, a figure that sounded generous until the company's value multiplied 100-fold within 2 decades. The handshake agreement included a promise of ongoing royalties. Kroc later denied the promise was ever made. The original McDonald's restaurant in San Bernardino was not part of the deal. Kroc opened a new McDonald's directly across the street from it. The brothers' restaurant closed shortly after. Richard McDonald later said he regretted the sale every day. Maurice never spoke publicly about it again. Then the model began to fracture. The speed that made fast food possible came at a cost nobody wanted to measure. Workers were paid the legal minimum. Turnover exceeded 100% per year at most chains. The kitchens that Ray Kroc had designed for maximum efficiency also produced maximum replaceability. Any worker could be swapped out in a shift because the system was built so that no individual skill mattered. The industry did not need cooks. It needed hands. For the workers inside those kitchens, the math was simple and merciless. By the 1990s, fast food had become the largest employer of minimum wage labor in the United States. Injury rates in fast food kitchens rivaled those in manufacturing. Burns were routine. The pace was relentless. Scheduling software gave workers shifts that changed weekly, sometimes daily, making it nearly impossible to hold a second job or attend classes. Benefits were rare. Unions were rarer. The industry spent millions lobbying against every proposed increase to the federal minimum wage, and for over a decade, it succeeded. The wage stayed frozen at $7.25 an hour from 2009 onward. A full-time fast food worker earning that wage made roughly $15,000 a year. The federal poverty line for a family of two was higher. In 2012, a wave of strikes rolled through fast food restaurants in New York City. Workers walked off the line at McDonald's, at Burger King, at Wendy's. They demanded $15 an hour. The campaign was called Fight for 15. Industry analysts called it unrealistic. Executives warned of mass closures. It spread to 200 cities within 2 years. Several states eventually raised their minimum wages. The federal rate has not moved. The food itself had become a public health question. In 1996, McDonald's introduced the Arch Deluxe, marketed as a burger for adults. It failed. What succeeded was size. Portions grew. Drinks doubled. A large soda at McDonald's in the 1950s held 7 ounces. By the late 1990s, the supersize option held 42. A single meal at a fast food counter. A singles meal at a fast food counter could exceed an entire's recommended calorie intake, and the price made it the cheapest option in neighborhoods where grocery stores had already disappeared. Researchers began mapping the overlap between fast food density and obesity rates. The correlation was difficult to ignore. A documentary released in 2004 followed a man who ate only McDonald's for 30 days. He gained 25 pounds. His liver showed signs of damage. McDonald's quietly discontinued its supersize option the same year the film was released. The company said the decision was unrelated. Overseas, the economics told a different story. On January 31, 1990, the first McDonald's in the Soviet Union opened on Pushkin Square in Moscow. 30,000 people stood in line on opening day. The wait lasted hours. The restaurant seated 700. It served more customers on its first day than any McDonald's in history. The symbolism was deliberate. A Big Mac in Moscow was not food. It was a signal the Cold War was over, and the winner had a drive-through. By the mid-2000s, McDonald's operated in over 119 countries. Burger King, KFC, Subway, and Starbucks followed the same map. Fast food did not just enter foreign markets, it restructured them. Local supply chains were rebuilt to meet the specifications of American franchises. Farmers in Thailand raised chickens to McDonald's standards. Potato growers in India planted varieties selected for the fry. The food was adapted, no beef in India, teriyaki in Japan, Macarabia in the Middle East, but the system underneath was identical everywhere. One kitchen, one timer, one margin. The golden arches became the most recognized commercial symbol on the planet. Today, the global fast food industry generates over $900 billion in annual revenue. McDonald's alone operates nearly 40,000 restaurants in more than 100 countries. The company's real estate portfolio is valued in the tens of billions. More than 3.7 million people work for McDonald's and its franchisees worldwide, making it one of the largest private employers on the planet. Drive-thrus now account for over 70% of sales at major chains. Mobile ordering, delivery apps, and ghost kitchens. Restaurants with no dining room, built only for couriers, have reshaped the model again. The kitchen is shrinking. The customer is disappearing from the building entirely. Automation is arriving. Self-order kiosks have replaced front-counter workers at thousands of locations. Robotic fryers and automated drink stations are in testing at multiple chains. Voice recognition systems take drive-through orders at several hundred McDonald's locations across the United States. The industry that was built on the principle that no worker's skill should matter is now building kitchens that need no workers at all. The economics are plain. A machine does not quit, does not call in sick, does not ask for a raise. The same logic that made the speedy service system revolutionary in 1948 may make the human worker obsolete within a generation. The brothers who built the original system wanted a good restaurant. The man who took it from them wanted an empire. The empire now feeds 69 million people every day. The original building in San Bernardino was torn down in 1972. A museum sits on the site now. It is not owned by McDonald's. The 15-cent hamburger became a $900 billion industry.